Hello and welcome to another video with Create Crochet. I'm Rebecca, and in today's video we're going to be turning your fridge freezer into Frosty the Snowman. So for the scarf I've just used wrapping paper, and at the ends I've snipped them a little bit. For the mouth and the eyes I've just used black card which I've cut circles out of, and for the nose we've crocheted a carrot. So we are going to now crack on and I'll show you how to make this. To make your carrot you're going to need some orange yarn of your choice. I just went to my local yarn shop and asked for the absolute cheapest one that they had. A crochet hook, and this one is asking me to use a 5mm hook. So here is my 5mm hook, which is a US size H. Some scissors just to snip off any loose ends. You will need a stitch marker. Either an actual stitch marker or a piece of yarn is perfect. And to attach the carrot to your fridge freezer you will need a magnet. Now I just picked this up from my local cheap store. I quite like it because it's got the rim on it, so we'll be able to sew that actually in to make sure the carrot attaches quite nicely. And you will need some stuffing of any description just to pack out your carrot, stuff your carrot. Sounds quite weird really when you say go to stuff a carrot. Okay, so let's move all this out of the way. The stitches that we're going to be using is a magic circle to get started, and then we're going to be using a single crochet or a double crochet, whichever term you use wherever you are in the world. I'm going to be using the term single crochet, a slip stitch, and that's it. So how to make a magic circle? It's super easy. With the small piece, hold that in your left hand. With the long piece that is attached to the ball of yarn, you're going to wrap it around your fingers once and a half, and you're going to make that X. Let me do that again because I'm not sure it caught it on camera. So hold it there, wrap it round once and wrap it round twice. Make sure this X here is really quite exaggerated on your fingers, and you're going to go in there, grab the yarn, and as you bring the yarn back underneath this top piece here, you're going to twist. Now holding all of this twisted yarn, chain one. So that's yarn over and bring through, and that will hold your adjustable ring or magic circle into place. So into this we are going to do 6 single crochet. So to do a single crochet you put it through the loop, grab the yarn, bring it through, yarn over and bring through both loops on the hook, and we're going to do that 6 times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one is 6. And it looks a bit messy right now, but you'll be able to see the top of the stitches because of the 2 loops that sit on top. Make sure that they are all in a line, and once you've done that we're going to come back and make sure you use the long piece and never this short piece here, and we're going to slip stitch to the top of our first single crochet, not into the chain because the chain was literally there to hold our magic loop or magic circle in place, and we're going to catch either 1 or 2 loops. It's absolutely fine, whatever's easiest for you. Right now I'm going to catch 1 loop to say it doesn't matter, and we're going to slip stitch to slip stitch and bring through both. And only when you've done the slip stitch to complete the round do you then tighten your circle. And this will be the absolute bottom of our carrot, the tip of our carrot. And that's what it looks like right now. So the next round is just one single crochet into each of our 4. Okay? So we're going to chain 1 to get up to our next round. And with our stitch marker, we're going to put it into that chain 1 so we know where the beginning of our round is. If you're using a scrap piece of yarn, make sure it's a completely different colour to orange and just feed it through. So into each one, I don't know if the camera is picking up the noise of where I am right now, but it's absolutely pouring it down with rain. But I love the noise of rain on windows. Something really quite nice about it. So the main component of the carrot is a chain stitch to get up to the next round, and then all single crochets. So here I am back round where my stitch marker is, so I'm going to remove that and go back where it was for our slip stitch, and that's the next round complete. So that is what the tip of your carrot will look like. So the next round that we're going to do is we're going to do one single crochet, 2 to do an increase, and we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2 all the way around. The first thing that you do to start any round is chain 1 and put your stitch marker into that chain, so you absolutely know where your round begins. So into the first one we're going to do one single crochet, and then into the next one we're going to do 2 to do an increase. And this is how you do an increase in any crochet project. You do 2 stitches into 1. I'm going to snip off this end a little bit. I'm not going to sew this in because it will sit inside my carrot. So that was 2. The next one is a single, the next one will be a increase, so 2 single crochet into this next one. So that's 1, and then back into the same stitch for 2. And then the next one is a single, and then the next one is an increase, and then we'll be back where our stitch marker is. That's 1, and back into the same stitch for 2. Remove our stitch holder, and we're going to slip stitch into there. And that completes that round. And as you can see, by doing the increase, it's already made the work start to come out a little bit. So as before, we are going to chain 1, and this loop here, this one here, is where we are going to put the stitch marker straight in there. the next round, it's one single crochet in each of these. So the way the pattern works is one round is an increase, the round after that is just one single crochet in each, and then the next round will be an increase, and then the next round will be one single crochet in each. And each time we do an increase, we go further along until we do the increase. So that was one in between the increases. The next time we do an increase on the next round, it will be two single crochets in each stitch before we get to the increase, So all the way around. Doesn't matter if your work frays a little bit, it's going to get hidden. And then the last one before we get to our stitch marker. I'll just take out some more yarn. So we're going to slip stitch into where our yarn marker is, our stitch marker. Chain one. So because that round was a single crochet into each stitch, we know that this round is going to be an increase round. So we're going to do one single crochet in the next two, so that's one, and moving on to this one for two, and then in the next one we're going to put the increase. So in here, in this bit here, I'm going to do two single crochets. So that's one and two, and then one single crochet in the next two. So that's one and two, and then an increase into this one. So that's one, and then back into the same stitch for two. Took that in there. And then the next two will be single crochets. So that's one and two. And then in this one will be the increase. And then one and two, and then we're back to our stitch marker, so we know we just need to slip stitch into there, which was our chain, chain one to get to our next round, and with our stitch marker we'll just pop it in there. So this next round, all you need to do is one single crochet into each going round. You carry on and do that. Remember, you need to slip stitch into here, chain one, and move your stitch holder, and I will see you when we've moved this little fellow. Just moved my stitch marker, I've slip stitched, I've chained one and put my stitch marker back in. So the last increase round that we did was single crochet into two and then do our increase. So on this one we need to do a single crochet in three and then do our increase. So as I said, every round that we do an increase is one further along than the last one. So that was two and then three, and then in this one we're going to do the increase. That's one, back into the same stitch for two, and then we're going to go one, two, three, and then do the increase. So that's one and two, and then into the next 3 before we do the increase. So that's 1, 2 and 3, and then increase into this one, 1, and back into the same stitch for 2, and then into the next 3 we do a single, which should bring us back round to our stitch holder. Yay, it does. I love it when a plan comes together. Sorry, there's probably some copyright law saying I can't say that about the 18. So remove your stitch holder and slip stitch to where it was to complete the round. Chain 1 to get up to the next round, and we're going to put our stitch holder into the chain loop right there. And then on this round, because we just did an increase, this one is going to be a stitch in each, no increase. So let's just do that together all the way around. So I hope you've got a nice Christmas planned, one where you're seeing family and your friends and making merry, and you're going to have so much fun. I love this time of year. I love the weather. I love the atmosphere in the shops. I know some people get a bit crazy in the shops, but I quite like seeing that, where they go a bit mental. So 1 single crochet all the way around. Just take out some more yarn. One more, don't forget this last one. Make sure you do get this one, which is right before your stitch holder. If you're only picking up 1 loop, that's fine. If you're picking up the 2 loops, again, it's all good. So slip stitch into here, chain 1 to get to the next round, and put the stitch marker in. So that was not an increase round, so this one needs to be. So this time we're going to go 4 before we do the increase. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now do the increase into the same stitch. We do 2, and then we go 4 again, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 into this one for our increase, which is 1 and 2, and then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches that we've single crocheted into, and then this one will be 2 into the same one, and then 1, 2, 3, and back into this one for 4, and then slip stitch where our stitch marker is, chain 1 to get up to the next round, stitch marker in place, and because that was an increase round, this is not, So we're just going to single crochet in each one. So carry on. I'm going to carry on off camera making my carrot. So you should start to begin to look like that, where it's a proper triangle when laid flat and sort of a cone shape when you've puffed it out. So keep going, making sure that you do an increase round and then one in each. And each time you do an increase, you count on one more stitch in each round. Because each fridge freezer is a different size, I'm not going to tell you how big to make your carrot. What I will do is carry on off camera, making my carrot as big as I want it to be, and then we'll come back to finish it off. So have fun, and we'll see you back in a minute. Before we get to the finish point, I just wanted to say that if you feel like your cone is getting too fat, what you can do is just do a few rows of non-increase. So just doing single crochet all the way around. It will still be cone shaped, don't worry about that, but it will be less fat. So if you did think that, just do some single crochet rows without doing any increases, because that's how I'm feeling about my carrot, is it's getting a little bit too wide. So I'm going to do a few rounds where I'm not going to increase, and if you're thinking the same, go for it. So I finished my carrot. I don't actually want my carrot to be huge, and I did about 2 or 3 rows where I didn't do an increase. So I haven't chained one yet, I've just slip stitched. I'm going to chain one, and we are now going to drastically reduce the size of this opening here. So you still will need your stitch holder going into that chain stitch. So I'm going to do that straight away. Oops. When you put your stitch holder in, do try and catch up all of the threads of that loop. I forgot to mention at the start as well that you will need a darning or yarn needle. So we are now going to decrease into every single stitch, and the way we're going to do that is into that one, catch the loop, into the next one, catch the loop. So you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and just take all of them off. So that's 1, 2 and 3. So we're going to do this all the way around, so we're going to do this a few more times. Into the next one, do make sure that you are catching both loops onto your crochet hook, yarn over and pull through the next one, yarn over, pull through. There's my 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and take all 3 loops off. That one, and off. That one, and take the 3 loops off. Just need to check out some more yarn here. It's not often that I get to crochet with orange. It's not a colour that I generally use. It's really quite nice. I'm going to start that one again. So we're going to go in here and then into the next one and bring those away. And we're going to go all the way around back to the stitch marker or stitch holder, however you refer to them. This one and then this one. So what are you doing for Christmas? Are you going out to someone's house, or are they all piling around your house? Everyone's piling around my house this year and I am beyond excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am. Oops. And then slip stitch into where your stitch marker is. And we're going to do that again. So put your stitch marker back in after you've chained one. Even though we are decreasing, we're still doing a new round, so we still do need to chain one. So let's do that again. Getting quite small now, which is exactly what we want. So I have 2 stitches left, into that one, into that one, and off. And that is the last time that we do the increase. So we're just going to come along and slip stitch to where our yarn marker was, and that is your carrot made. Yay! So what we're going to do now is make this loop huge and cut the yarn off. The reason why we make it huge is so that we don't accidentally pull any of our stitches. And into this hole we are going to stuff the carrot. And shove it all in. All in. There we go. And that's the carrot made. So with your darning needle or yarn needle, thread it on, making sure that you catch all the fibres of the yarn to stop it fraying. It doesn't want to go through. If you're finding that it's a struggle to get your yarn through the eye of the needle might just be a little bit too small and go for the next size up needle. So we're going to pass this through the loop to create our normal knot that we use to finish our work, and pull that quite tight. Pick up each stitch, push that stuffing back through, like so, all the way around. And then just pull gently, and that will close up the hole. And we're just going to knot it off. So you can just leave your carrot like this, and if you have not got a magnet like mine which has got the lip on it, you can just snip this off now and glue your magnet onto your carrot. I have done it before, and I have used PVA glue, which works really, really well. So I'm going to sew my magnet on. Don't put your magnet inside your yarn, because unless you've got a really strong magnet, it won't be able to be magnetized to your fridge freezer through the yarn. Just to let you know, trial and error. So I'm going to sew mine on, and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is my magnet all sewn on, and it was a case of through hook, line and sinker this magnet is staying on. I had to wrap the yarn round a few times, but I have tested it on my fridge freezer and it does work. So that is how to create your fridge freezer carrot. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my video. Please leave any comments below, and you can also check out my Facebook page. Thanks again, and Merry Christmas from Create Crochet, and I hope your new year is happy and prosperous. Thanks again.